Hey Flosstube, it's Kim. I'm back again with another weekly cross-stitching update. This is video number 79. Today is the 27th of July 2020, which means it is Anne's birthday. She is the creator of Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group, and her Flosstube is Fiber, Floss, and a Fiction podcast. Her Instagram is Little Bird Stitcher. So if you want to wish her a happy birthday, those are 3 ways you can find her. So we wish her a very happy birthday. And it just so happens there's a couple of other coincidences. I only worked on full coverage this week, and today Haid started a 50% off sale. I don't know yet how long the sale lasts. We'll find out probably a little later while I'm uploading this. Michelle usually posts in the Haid group how long the sale is for, and she also sends out a newsletter. So what a coincidence, 50% off sale on Anne's birthday. So I worked on 4 pieces this week. As I said, they're all full coverage. Let's start off with Trick or Treat. I did not finish the black because most of you said go for more bingo squares. So worked on the black, I finished another row, and then started on the top row with the bats. Come to find out, the Witch in the Moon has like 0 black stitches in her. So it's just the tree, branches, and the bats in the top row. I have it taken apart for you. So I'm not going to show the whole thing because you already saw that last week. So there's the turret row that I had started last week, and you can see a little bit of the railing there in the center. So there's your tree, and I did 2 bats. I started on a 3rd bat, and also when I was just putting this down after finishing the bingo square for the geometric pattern and the park, on this one, I noticed that, let's see if I can do this without unrolling the entire thing. Right here in this blank spot, I missed a little section of black stitches because I was going, as I was zooming around on the pattern and Pattern Keeper, I was going towards the bottom of the page and I missed a little section. So it's a good thing I've taken this apart just so I can get this small section, and then I've got about 1,900 more black stitches to finish the row here. So we will do that probably in August. So that is Trick or Treat. The park I finished was Kenai Fjords. And then after this, I picked up Macintosh Mill so I could finish my 2nd bingo line. And that square was for mode of transportation. This is a Dimensions kit, art by Charles Wysocki. There's my mode of transportation. So I did equivalent of 1,000 stitches because I did an awful lot of half stitch, and I back stitched this whole section. So from this little white dog I think he has, it made me think it was a sheep from up here, but of course he wouldn't have a sheep on a leash. So it's a white dog with a couple black spots, and so I backstitched all of this from this line up, backstitched the church and the building here. So I am now 14,000 into my 20 in 20 for Full Coverage Fanatics on this piece. So I still have some trees to do over here, trees to do over here, the pies, the ground. There's lots of pumpkins down here to put in. This guy pushing a wheelbarrow, and a person here in the door of the tavern, as well as backstitching the tavern, rest of the tavern itself. Certainly won't be anywhere close to the 6,000 remaining stitches for the challenge, but we'll see how far it takes us. So I'll pick that up again in August. Next, I worked on Museum Shelf, Supersized Color Expansion Museum Shelf, for my 3rd bingo line for the block of books, because there's lots of books in this piece, and also using my stitches for the Around the World Challenge visiting India. There's a Buddha in this section, and Buddhism is the second highest religion in the country of India. So I worked on this one. It was the start of a new page, so I got the stitches done quickly, and I actually had to do more than 2,000 to finish the park. So there's 2,000 for the square, and then a little over 800 more to finish the park, which was, what park was it? Joshua Tree National Park. So I started this page down here in the dinosaurs with the large fern leaves and the pelvis and leg of the T-Rex. There we go. There's the whole piece so far. And you can see I filled in the black and some of the dark brown and dark gray, and then just went to town on the green in the fern leaves to get this done quickly. So there is 2,800 on this one. And I will pick this up again next month for the next Around the World Challenge, because we are going to Japan. And in that same section, you see a blue kimono. So, as well as other Japanese items there in that. Let's see if we can get it. So, I'll work on this again next month. And just as a reminder, every time you see this piece, I do link in the description box the videos where I talk about my homemade PVC frame for my supersized piece. So look for that in the description. And then the fourth piece I worked on, I did mean it was for my free space because I'm going for the diagonal. I did have this piece for a different square, but that I'm not going to get to. So this is Half-Blood Prints by Tilton Crafts. I did mean for this to go for the design with fewer than 50 colors. There's only 35 in this one. But I decided to go for the free space. So I'm on this page right here with the castle. I did 1,500 stitches to finish the park, which is Mount Rainier. And then, sorry, I had a hair in my nose. 2,000 stitches for the square, which filled in most of the background on that page. So now you can really see where the castle is going to be. So that is page 4. And if you look up here, I bring in this dark color over, and you see that blue line right there? That's going to be the end of the chart. That's the top right corner. So almost made it to the top right corner. I am done with my annual goal on this one. I only wanted to get done 2 pages, but then I had to finish a park and a bingo square. And it just kind of, let's set the goal out even further, because I have so much fun working on this one. So don't be surprised if you see me working on it again in the next 5 months, because I don't want to stop working on it. So that is Half-Blood Prints. Those are the 4 pieces I worked on. Here is my bingo chart. So my first line, my second line, and now I'm going for this line. The only square I have left for my third line is the design or designer name starting with a J-U-L or Y, which I have for Kindred Spirits for Jody Bergsma. The problem is with Kindred Spirits, if I do this one bingo square, yes, it's progress, and it's another bingo square to get my third line, but it will not finish a park for me. I need, let's see, I've got 2,510 stitches towards a park on Kindred Spirits, which means I need 5,500 more to finish the park. So this will help me, but it won't get me that park finish. So because of that, I'm going to work on 2 other pieces before I pick up Kindred Spirits. First, some non-full coverage. This is the Blackwork 52 Weeks of Blackwork Sale by Peppermint Purple on Facebook. You can only get it in the group and so I always link that Facebook group in the description box. I have not worked on this in over a month, so I am severely behind, but it's block work, so it goes quickly. I have 7 squares to catch up on, plus I need to do some more borders so I don't so I can keep being ahead on the border. So this square, this entire line, and 2 squares here have already been released. And as of Wednesday, this square will be released. But I plan on working on this today. Excuse me, gotta fix my voice. Because I always have less time than normal to stitch on recording days. So hopefully I can get those 7 squares done on that one. I don't have a drink with me. The other piece I want to work on, that I work on one day each month, is Templar Prophecy by Long Dog Samplers, and I am down here in this corner working on the knight and his horse. So we'll work on this tomorrow to see how much more of the knight and his horse that I can finish and figure out my colors on that one. And then I will pick up Kindred Spirits for that last square. So I have pages 1 through 3 done, and I have started the first page on the second row. I don't have this currently on a scroll frame. So try to show it to you like this. There you go. So there's pages 1 through 3, and then the page I'm currently on, that's the one with 2,500 stitches into it. So there you go. We'll see if I can get 2,000 more 10 stitches into that one by the end of the month. One piece of haul. I got my second month of Color and Cotton Neutral Fabric of the Month. This color is called Pearwood. It's a nice tan with some brown modeling in there. And I brought, that's it for stitching content. There's a few more life updates, other interesting things. The reason I have had so much time to stitch is there's a couple of things that I've kept my husband busy in his time off. This is his last week with his few remaining days off before he goes back to work. So the thing that I bought him for Father's Day that took forever to get here, I seriously ordered it on June 5th. It shipped 3 weeks later from China and took 2 more weeks to get here. So this has kept him busy because I knew he needed something. And what I got him were 3D puzzles. These are metal. These are heavy. They're Star Wars puzzles. So there's an X-Wing. Battle Droid. Focus. Millennium Falcon. The at Walker. The Star Destroyer. So this is how small these things are. These things are tiny. Look at the little tiny pieces that he had to put together. I mean, look at that. Teeny tiny little pieces. He's been using my magnifying glass and needle nose pliers. And here's the last one. R2. So he says the hardest thing is making the round parts. So he made the Star Destroyer first and then R2. So he's got the other 4 to put together. And the other thing he's done is made a bookcase to go in my youngest daughter's room. You know, she hasn't been using diapers for years, but we've had the changing table in her room just because it's 3 shelves. That was kind of like a catch-all where she could put toys and stuffed animals and, you know, anything she wanted. Drawings and stuff from preschool. So we gave away the changing table and he made a bookcase. So that took up a couple of days and gave him, you know, something to do with his hands and, you know, a challenge. A couple trips to the hardware store. So that's what he's been doing. We did go boating. It was a beautiful day on the lake. The high was 77 degrees, which is probably about 25 degrees Celsius. The water temperature was 74 degrees, so probably around 23 degrees. It was chilly. The water was chilly. I did not go in the water off the boat. I was thinking that, if we went to the lake shore and went in that way because we had the dog with us, and if I was throwing the bumper, then I'd wade into the water. But there was no pets allowed on the beach. So plus we ran out of time because we were delayed in leaving. The boat wasn't ready. That's a long story. But it was a beautiful day on the water. We tooled around this entire lake. It's a man-made lake, so there's a dam with a water turbine plant. And so we didn't get too close, but we took a tour around there and drove different ways around the lake, because the lake isn't just round, it's really odd shaped with lots of fingers. So we were driving around it, and a couple times we'd stop, and my husband and the kids would jump off the boat and into the water. I stayed in the boat as a safety, just to be safe, right? So I could stay warm, because at that depth, the anchor and the anchor chain weren't long enough to secure the boat in one spot. So the boat would slowly drift as they were swimming. And I stayed in the boat to help the dog too. That's what we're going with. I did get a little sunburn on the tops of my legs. I had shorts on and didn't think to put sunscreen on the tops of my knees, and those 5 or so inches from the tip of my knee to my on my upper thigh. But that's because look how pale I am, guys. And okay, I got sunburned because I'm really freaking pale. But my legs are doing fine now. The kids had so much fun, but the swimming in the chilly water really tired them out. So while we were driving the boat back to the boat dock, or the boat ramp, they both fell asleep as we were going at speed. So they had their life jackets on. They had a towel wrapped around them because they were wet, and just kind of conked out, sitting on the back of the boat with the boat going. It was really funny. I took some video. I took pictures of them swimming and everything. And what was excellent was that it wasn't a very windy day. And me, with all my motion sickness problems, I didn't have a single problem getting motion sick on the boat. So that was awesome. Let's see. And the weather here has been beautiful. The reason people live here in North Dakota, when it gets down to -50 wind chill, that's the same temperature Fahrenheit and Celsius once you get that cold in the wintertime, is because the summers are gorgeous. Okay. Here in the month of July, our high temperature for the day is usually between 75 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. That is between 24 and 29 degrees Celsius. We had 2 days last week where we got between 90 and 93 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 32 to 33 Celsius. And so those days we kept all the doors and windows closed and kept the AC on. But usually, because the lows at night gets between 55 and 69 degrees, so that's between 12 and 20 degrees Celsius. So we close the doors and windows right about when the girls go to bed, turn on the AC to cool down the house, because it's warmed up throughout the day. And then when we wake up in the morning, all the doors and windows open up and stay open until at least after dinner time, depending on how warm the day is going to be. So the AC only runs for a couple hours, and the rest of the day we have all this fresh air and cool breezes blowing through the house. So it's gorgeous. This is why people deal with the North Dakota winters, is because the summers are amazing. My girls are out almost the entire day playing in the neighborhood with other kids, because there's hardly any traffic down our street. And it's just like when we were kids and we were playing out all day. And my girls know that when retreat plays at 5 o'clock, come home and eat dinner. So that's what we've been doing. So a few more days, and then my husband goes back to work. And we don't know yet. They haven't announced what our school will be like here in the fall. School is supposed to start August 20th for us. So we're less than a month away, and we don't know yet what it's going to look like. So I'm anxiously waiting to hear about that, because my youngest daughter is now 5, and she's supposed to start kindergarten. So I need to know what the school year is going to look like. So, all right, guys, that's it. Everybody have a good stitching week, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye, guys.